In fact, on the line now we have Kawulak, who's from Bristol, from Poland Bridge. We're going to do this interview in Polish, but I will translate some of this into English as we're going along, just to make it easy for everybody to get involved in tonight's programme. Okay, I'm just going to say a few words in English then. So in the Bristol area, your organisation raised, from what I hear, about £1,200, I think. You were saying that you raise money in shops as well, English shops. You were quite surprised that of the about 13 shops where tins were placed in order for collection boxes for raising money, the second highest revenue generating one was actually an English restaurant, where as soon as they understood that this was something similar to children in need, even if they did not understand the Polish language, they were very happy to participate, and they were generous obviously with their donations. So Krzysztof was just saying there that like most of the other centres around the country, they too had a bit of a festival, a bit of a gig. They had various bands on stage. Funnily enough, one of them wasn't even Polish. It happened to be Romanian, just happened to be in the area, I guess. So that was wonderful. So we had a little bit of cross-border interaction there as well. He also told us just now, when I asked him about the timing of this particular fundraiser. Picture this. We're talking about after Christmas. We're talking about the first 2 weeks of January, which is usually the time, Kingsley, I think you'll agree with me, won't you, Kingsley? It's when you start getting your credit cards. You start getting your credit card bills through, isn't it?
Yep.
Exactly.
It's payback time.
It's payback time, exactly. And so I was asking Krzysztof just now whether, in fact, it's the best timing to do something like that, whether it would not be more of a fundraiser if we did it
before Christmas.
Before Christmas, yeah, sort of in December. Well, he's quite diplomatically said that's one for the organisers to answer. I respect his view. He also said that he still thinks it's quite wonderful that we have this great sort of feeling of generosity from people, that even though it is in January, that people are still happy to dig in deep and find that extra bit of money and just to put it to a good cause, in this case for children suffering with cancer in Poland and for the oncology departments in the hospitals. And so that's what the fundraiser was for this year. And I think that's a pretty good answer. What do you think, Kingsley?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as another example, I did some fundraising myself 1st of January for Radio Lollipop, Great Ormond Street Hospital.
Excellent.
On the London Parade with the bus.
With the London bus.
With the London bus, with the route master. And yeah, apparently we raised over £1,000, over £1,000.
Fantastic.
And that's the night after everybody's got trolleyed, so to speak.
Okay.
The morning after, I should say. The morning after the night before. The 1st of January.
Excellent.
Yeah, people were very generous. So.
Okay, I've got one final question for Krzysztof, who's still patiently on the line. No, Krzysztof, thank you very much. That was Krzysztof Kawulak, who was just telling me there that he was very pleased with the amount that they raised. In fact, it was £1,777 or something like that. First time they'd ever done it. They only got involved in December, and by January there they were with their tins and doing all their stuff. Not a bad figure when you think about it, because in London they've been preparing for months to do this. They raise about £18,000 in London, but then there's a lot more polls in London than there are obviously in Bristol. And they had more organisational time and a lot of media focus and attention here in London, which they didn't have so much of in a place like Bristol. But I think that is certainly impressive. And something I didn't know, there were actually 2 fundraising groups in London. There was one as well in East London, which I hadn't heard of before. So very impressed all round. With that one. That's Krzysztof Kawulak from Bristol's Poland Bridge, a name that sounds a little bit like London Bridge, I think you'll agree with.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I was just going to say that.
I was going to say, yeah, exactly. Oh, somebody's nicked our name.
Nicked your name for the show, yeah.
Absolutely. No problem with that. It's the Severn Bridge, of course, that they're thinking about, which is the big bridge that goes across Bristol, across the River Severn. Yeah. A lovely thing. Have you been on that ever?
I've been on that several times, yeah, but you only have to pay one way.
It's right.
The other way is free.
It's amazing.
You're going to come back, aren't you?
Well, that's the general
theory. But there is another crossing as well.
But you can use to get across and then come back for free on this side.
I think so.
Yeah, exactly. Where there's a will, there's a way. Okay, we're going to break for a song, and this is one I think you're going to like here in the studio, and I think I'll tell you why.